guys, it's Rebecca and I'm back with another vlog from Colorworks, and this one I'll be covering the green child and back to school and where a green child's anxiety and stress might show up, the whys, wheres, and how it's going to look, and the remedy to fixing that. So when we're talking about our green child, it's pretty similar to the green adult like I covered in a previous vlog post, and they are all about information and learning experiences. And so often headed back to school is really exciting for greens. Now, don't get me wrong, when a green doesn't enjoy learning something, they can be a bear about it, especially when they're young, under the age of about 12. They can be really grumbly and upset about having to do handwriting or learning cursive, or maybe it's writing papers, or maybe they don't enjoy math, whatever it is. If they don't enjoy learning something, they can be quite grumbly about it. But in general, speaking generally, greens love to learn. So heading back to school is actually a pretty exciting time for them. They're not quite as meticulous about making lists and checking them off like the gold is, but they do a little bit of that. They have their own very unique organizational system. So typically greens are preparing to go back to school, and they will tell you, I cleaned out my closet, I have my bag ready, and you'll look at it and think, this isn't clean nor ready. But they will believe it is because they organize in a very unique way, and it's all based on their logic system. And if they're young, their logic system is very immature, so it's not fully formed yet. So what's logical to them, to an adult, you'll look at it and think, this is not done. As they get older, they get a bit better about that. They become more, their logic of organization makes more sense to adults. But when they're young, they might seem a little chaotic as they're preparing to go back to school. They enjoy the idea, as young kids under the age of 10, they love getting to reconnect with their best buddies at school and learn new things. They often like to hear about what older kids are learning, and now suddenly they are the older kid because they're learning their multiplication. They get to do time tests, or maybe they get to travel between classes. That really is exciting for greens because they do love the idea of learning and becoming more proficient, and growing up and expanding their mind and being thought of as intelligent. So that can all be really exciting for our greens. Now, what is going to stress our greens out, and what are they going to look like when they're stressed? So our greens, when they're young, are going to be stressed mostly headed back to school about little nuanced things like, oh, I heard that teacher was not good. I don't know if I like her. I don't know if I want to have her. I had her last year and I didn't like her and I won't like her now. So they can make judgments about past learning experiences, and those can really affect their future learning experiences. Or maybe they had a difficult time learning multiplication and division, but had always loved math up until that point. Now all of a sudden they hate math because they use the learning experience of I didn't do well and I failed, or I struggled, and that will bleed into the next year. So that might be stressing them. And it's really important to convince that green at that point that it is all about building on learning experiences, that one learning experience doesn't dictate the rest of your life. That yeah, that one component might have been tricky, but look at the other 10 components you learned really quickly. So helping them to kind of realign their logic system about themselves is important when they're stressed out, when they're young especially. Our older greens are going to become a little bit more stressed by, and I'm going to say the S word, stupid people. Now I know a lot of families ban the word stupid in their homes, and it's up to everybody's family value. Now I live with a green, my husband's a green, and I'm raising a green daughter. So we lifted the stupid ban a long time ago. We just said you can't call people stupid, but you can call situations, things people do, the way they reacted, you can say that was stupid. You just can't call somebody stupid to their face. Because here's the thing, greens, when they talk about stupid people, and if you have a green, are married to a green, have a green sibling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you ask them, they will spell it out for you pretty clearly and quickly what a stupid person looks like. It's not a person of lower capacity learning and abilities. Actually, greens are incredibly empathetic and helpful with people that are struggling with a skill or learning something or academics. In fact, a lot of greens in junior high and high school will fill the role of tutors because they love to teach and they love to learn. And if somebody is truly struggling, they will go out of their way to help them learn. No. What greens struggle with, our tween and teen greens headed back to school, are what they refer to as stupid people. These are time wasters, distractions in the classroom, people that are all about me and trying to get attention, people that distract the teacher when the teacher is trying to educate them, that kind of stuff, that behavior, somebody who can do better and chooses not to, that is what really gets greens kind of worked up when they're headed back into the school year. So their stress often comes from, over the month of August, from the idea of, oh my gosh, I've got to start dealing with stupid people again. I've been holed up and hiding out at my house, just doing my chosen activities, the camp I wanted to go to, hanging out with the friends I want to see, and now here comes the general population again. That can be really stressful for a green because, like I said, people that offer a lot of nonsense really are stressful and annoying to a green. Now, how will you know when your green is stressed out, whether they're a little one or in their teens? You're going to look for the division between introvert and extrovert. The extroverts will become a bit know-it-all. They will become a little bit demanding in their speech, and they can also sound like they're trying to debate you on everything. You know, oh, I thought you signed up for AP Lit. No, I signed up for AP Government. I decided not to do AP Lit. So they might get a little bit snappy. They might get a little bit of tone and sound a little bit know-it-all. That is their way of saying, I'm stressed out and I don't know how to deal with this well. I can't stay as calm, cool, and collected as I like to. And here it comes, I'm going to snap at you. So the extroverts will sound more like that. The introverts, however, will become a little bit aloof and detached. They'll hide out, they'll sleep more, they'll avoid doing things, getting stuff done, especially in a noisy house around a lot of people. They'll try to cocoon themselves for as long as they can until they're forced back into school where it's all chaos again. Now, our introverted greens can become snappy, demanding, and rude as well. Usually that's when a parent has backed them into a corner and forced them to talk or forced them to answer questions. They will come out kind of swinging. So those are two things to look for with our greens when they're headed back into the school year. Their stress is often around when they're little. Am I going to like learning? Is it going to be fun? Or am I going to fail at something and do poorly again and feel bad about myself? As they get older, it has some to do with, am I going to fail? Am I going to be competent or not? And then a good 50% to do with dealing with stupid people. So what is the antidote to those? I advocate with our greens, use a mini counselor talk, a very, very short, brief counselor talk. They do not like talking about their feelings and emotions. In fact, they're the color type that connects with them the least, so they will try to avoid counselor talk. So using a mini counselor talk is good for them. And then spending time in coach talk where you let them know your expectations as their parents and the expectations they need to have of themselves. Not to run themselves down, that it's important not to negative self-talk yourself. It's important not to predict the future based on your past learning experiences. Sometimes learning experiences are a good prediction of the future, but not always. And greens tend to lock things into stone when they think they've figured it out. Like, well, I did bad at this, now I'm going to have to do bad at that. And teaching them not to have that mindset is really important. So spending a little more time in coach than counselor. The little nuance I tell parents to use with a green, especially tweens and teens, is wait and do this counselor talk and coach talk late in the evening. And by that I mean after 8 p.m., some of them after 9 p.m. Greens' brains are constantly humming and turning, and they cannot deal with and handle what is stressing them because stress turns into emotions, and greens detach from their emotions. They don't want to or struggle to handle it when their brain is humming and it's a busy house and there's people up and talking. They often will wait till late at night when everything is settled down and their brain has time to start shutting down. Now that can be hard for working parents especially, or parents who like to go to bed early, is you might be investing in an hour to an hour and a half conversation with your green at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, but I guarantee you it is well worth the time because that is when you get all of the good out of that coconut. The greens, it is always after 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. Again, if you have any questions or want to learn more about the colors or coach talk and counselor talk, you can follow the link below. You can also go to our website at colorworksgroup.com. There's all the information you need there. Good luck to the greens. I hope you have a very peaceful and intelligent class this year.